If anybody's telling you a guarantee of a number, I would be very leery about that. But what I can tell you is that I can't guarantee for you to get business credit, but I can guarantee you to get cash flow. And if you do the work and you implement all the tools that we're giving you for your toolbox, you can range anywhere from an extra $1,000 to $10,000 or more a month. It has nothing to do with your credit. Okay.
What's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of First Generation Wealth Builders. Today, I got a crazy episode. Like, I don't even understand everything we're going to talk about, but I'm excited about it because he is going to teach us how to print money on demand. We got my guy, Calvin Cannon, in the building, man. Welcome.
No, thank you. Hey, listen, man, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. Greatly appreciate you allowing me to step on the platform.
Thank you for coming by, man. Bring the mic up a little bit closer to you. Just that's good. Yep.
All right, cool.
So, man, let's get to it, man.
Hey, let's do it.
For those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Calvin Cannon Jr. I am the owner and operator of the Octagon Business Strategy. I've been doing real estate since 1991. So I guess I will be an OG in the game. I guess some people will look at it and say. Coming up doing real estate wasn't as easy as people may think or try to portray it to be today, right? So, doing real estate in 1991 compared to doing real estate in 2021 is definitely a total different atmosphere, total different beast of doing real estate. But what I learned in my travels of doing real estate and tapping into it is that back then we didn't understand how to use OPM. Right, and I'm sure we're gonna get into that today.
What's OPM?
So OPM is other people's money.
Okay.
Right, and then for everybody else that's out there, it's OFM, which is other folks' money. So either or, but we gonna get to the bank's money. Right?
Got you.
So back then, I was using my own personal funds to acquire real estate, and it was a slow process because nobody taught me. I didn't have a mentor to teach me how to leverage. Whether if it's credit, whether if it's equity inside of another home, whether if it's private lending. So I was using my direct hard-earned 9 to 5 money to get into real estate. I was probably acquiring maybe one property a year. And then I had to take a step back and understand that this is moving too slow for me. Right. So I always had a passion for real estate, always liked, to get inside, do rehabs. I like to see things that's dirty and dusty and turn it into something beautiful. Right.
Gotcha.
So, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Gotcha.
So that's the way that I looked at things. So I started with that. And then I realized that I had a passion for funding. Right.
Getting money.
I had a passion for the money.
Okay.
And it wasn't about just making the money. It was about what am I doing with the money. Right. So because, making the money is easy. Everybody knows something to do to make money. But do you know how to keep money? Right. So then I graduated from making money to keeping money to understanding how to cash flow money.
Got you. So you still doing real estate today?
Absolutely.
How many real estate properties you have?
Man. So right now off the bat, I'm probably sitting on about 25 rentals.
Okay.
I try to do a couple flips here and there. Okay. I moved out of the flip situation. And then we also have a property management company. So we manage anywhere between 60 to 80 properties a month.
Got you. Okay. All right, man, let's get to it.
Yeah.
So the Octagon Business Strategy.
Yeah, Octagon Business Strategy.
Elaborate on it. What is the Octagon Business Strategy?
So the Octagon Business Strategy originated because a lot of people do a lot of different things, right? So a lot of people say, in order to be wealthy, the wealth has different streams of income. But we never understood how to get to that different stream of income. So when I thought about that for a minute, I said, I have income coming over here, I got income coming over there, but I didn't understand how to structure that as a strategy, a business strategy. So what we tried to do is say, okay, if you have a particular business, we'll go inside of your business and we'll pull out your services and teach you other strategies of your services to form another cash flow. So the Octagon Business Strategy is basically 8 different residual cash flows that stay on point.
Got you. Can you elaborate on the 8?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the very first business that we do that we teach people is the foundation, right? The power of zero. Right. So a lot of people don't understand. They say, zero, for a long time, we've always looked at zero as being a negative number because zero has no value to some, But in reality, if you really, use your millionaire mentality to a billionaire mindset, you'll understand that zero takes you to anywhere else that you need to go. You need zero to have 100. You need zero to have 1,000. You need zero to have 1,000,000. You need zero to have 1,000,000,000,000, right? So zero is the most powerful number on the number chart. And when you look at the number zero, you understand that this is my foundation. How do I build? So we focus zero and we built with LLC. So the first part of the Octagon Business Strategies, we show you how to build your LLC. Not only do we show you how to build your LLC, we take you back and teach you how to start the business of building other people's LLCs. So that's one of the first portions of the Octagon Business Strategy.
So let me stop there.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you're going to teach me,
Right.
so that I could teach others.
Correct. So everything you learn in the Octagon Business Strategy, we teach it to you, and then we go back to the first day of class and teach you how to set it up as a business. So the first day of class is the foundation. You got the LLC. The next day of class, we talk about credit. Get your credit right, right? Then we go back to the first day of class because now you know how to build an LLC and now you know how to run a credit restoration company. So every step along the way to the 8 steps that you get, you go back and set up each business for that step. That's how you get the cash flow.
So on step 2, you are basically teaching me how to fix my credit if I need to.
Correct.
And you're going to also teach me how to do credit repair.
Correct.
Got you. What's step number 3?
So step number 3 is I'm gonna teach you how to talk to the bank.
Okay.
So that's the phase, right? So you got your LLC.
Hey, hold on, man.
Yeah.
Before you go too far, you're going to be going in there and macking to the ladies
Nah,
for some
man.
money?
Nah. We ain't doing that. Because here's the thing, though. So here's the thing, right? So a lot of times people, when you say how to talk to the bank, they're like, all right, well, am I having just a verbal conversation for myself? So that's the twist, right? Because a lot of times we go into the bank as individuals, but because I taught you how to build your LLC, you're now going into the bank as an entity. You're no longer walking in the bank as a regular individual anymore. Those days are over. So once you have your LLC, you're not going to the bank to have a conversation as, Calvin Cannon Jr. is looking for a business account. I'm coming in with my LLC and I'm looking for a partnership. I'm not just looking for an account. I'm looking for a partnership. How can we grow, right? Because if I can't grow with you, then there's no need for me to be in here with you, right?
I like that.
So we teaching you how to talk to the bank, right? And not talk to the bank representing yourself, talk to the bank representing your LLC.
Understood.
Yeah.
What's the 4th play?
So you got the funding play. Then the next play we teach you is something called property placement, right? So basically now you got the LLC, you got the credit, you got the funding. Now I'm gonna teach you how to do property placement. And what we teach people is you can make anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000 a month if you follow the structured blueprint, right? So some people may say, well, I want to get into real estate, but I don't have the funding to do it. And my credit is not where it needs to be to get the OPM. So now I'm going to teach you how to do property placement where all you have to use is your social media account. You post online that somebody's looking for an apartment or a house, right? Then you find a private landlord and you match the private landlord up with the tenant that's trying to look for the house. And then you collect the first month's rent. So you're doing property placement. The average house is anywhere between $800 to $1,000 a month. You times that by 10 a month. Now you got $8,000 to $10,000 a month on cash flow without even doing anything else. No money out of your pocket. The power of zero.
Strong. So you teaching boys how to make money off real estate without owning real estate.
Absolutely.
Got you. Let's keep going. Let me not stop you.
Absolutely.
Was that the 4th or the 5th play?
That was the 4th play.
Let's go to the 5th.
Yeah. So then the 5th play, we tap into different entities, right? So then we tap into wholesaling, right? So then I teach you how to wholesale a deal. Not only wholesale the deal, but I teach you how to find it, right? I teach you how to communicate it. I teach you how to have the proper documentations, and then I teach you how to move that property from you being the middleman, from the seller to the end buyer, and seal the deal by properly going through a title company and not getting positioned out of the deal, right? So I teach you about the wholesaling play.
Got you.
Again,
Okay.
No money out of your pocket. The power of zero.
Got you. All right. So what's the 6th play?
All right, so now we go from the wholesaling play, right? Now the 6th play is I teach you how to analyze real estate. So if you want to become a real estate agent, right? Or if you want to become a real estate a consultant agent, whereas though now I have a real estate agent that may not know the business, but then they'll come to you and you can teach them how to analyze that deal. Again, another cash flow, no money out of your pocket, right?
Got you. Break that down for me a little bit more though. Like, so what do you mean? Like analyze the deal. So evaluating great deals to be able to like keep or flip.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you look at the structure that we're going, so we're going from LLC credit, how to talk to the bank, right? How to get funding, how to wholesale a deal, right? How to property manage a deal, right? Now I'm teaching you how to analyze the deal. So that's going to piggyback with your wholesaling company because now you know how to analyze a deal, right? So now you might have somebody in the family, you might have a loved one that have a property, got equity in it, but they don't know how to analyze that property. They don't know how to move the money from their property into putting it into their bank account. So we teach you how to analyze that deal so you can either take it to a wholesaler, you can take it to a realtor, or you can process the deal yourself.
Boom. Got you. You giving boys different extra strategies.
Cash flow.
Got you. Okay. Number 7.
So number 7, we tap into the traditional things that's in the market. So we'll show you Airbnb. We'll show you how to get an Airbnb property. We'll show you how to leverage your Airbnb where no money out of your pocket, and teach you how to cash flow without even having a tenant inside of your Airbnb property. No money out of your
So
pocket.
wait a minute. I'm gonna be making money and ain't nobody in the property.
Nobody in the property.
Oh, we gonna have to come and revisit that. I almost
Absolutely.
need a pen or something to come make sure I come back to that. Number 7. Hey, Jackson, whatever we do, we got to come back to number 7. All right. So the final play. What's number 8?
So this is the biggie, right? This is what everybody love. We teach you how to take all the businesses that we taught you to pull services out of them and get the ultimate round of funding. So what does that mean? So what that means is that if you have a company, right? So let's say you have, C&C Property Management or C&C Investments, LLC. I would take C&C Investments and I will pull a service out of that. So C&C Property Management does a service. I have C3 Cleaning does a service. I'll have CC Construction does a service. I'll have, CCGC. And each service that you pull out, you LLC that service and you go back to the bank and get the same increment of a dollar amount that you got approved for the first LLC, and you're putting it in the subsidiary LLCs from out of your service. That ends up the Octagon Circle.
Got you. So now I got a question.
Yep.
And so imagine there's investors out there that have rental properties.
Yep.
And a lot of us are now curious about maybe Airbnb in our properties because depending on the location,
Right.
like somebody may say, hey, I'm going to see if I could earn more, right? So in that situation, you said that I can earn money and not have a tenant. Explain
sir.
that to me.
So typically, your average Airbnb person that teaches you Airbnb, it's a great business, right? So they're teaching you how to arbitrage. They're teaching you how to sublease your lease with a landlord, which is great. So the number one key is you want to make sure that you put your Airbnb into an LLC. That's first and foremost.
So if I have a rental property company,
Correct.
I need to separate the Airbnb business from the rental business.
Correct.
Understood.
Correct. So now once you get your once you get your Airbnb and you place it into your LLC, remember the first part of the Octagon, I teach you how to talk to the bank. So when you go to the bank and you get that business funding, let's hypothetically say that the Airbnb that you have is $1,000 a month. Well, now I just taught you how to go to the bank and speak to the bank for your business, and you're going to get a business credit card. Let's say the business credit card is $15,000 on the business side, right? So the business doesn't show on your personal. So what does that mean? So that means that now I have a Airbnb unit. It's costing me $1,000 a month. Times 12 is $12,000 a year. So I'm going to go to that landlord or I'm going to go to that condominium office and I'm going to say, listen, I'm willing to pay my rent for 1 year up front. Do you have any perks and benefits that you can offer somebody like myself? Maybe give me 1 month off or maybe give me an extra month. So I may pay 11 months or I might get a 13th month because I'm paying everything up front. So now I swipe my card for $12,000. The average bank only charges you a minimum of 1% a month on the payback of your credit card. Okay. So now I have $15,000 on my credit card. I just used $12,000 to pay for my Airbnb for the year, right? So now that cost me 1%, $120. My rent is $1,000. 120 minus 1,000 is $880. So now I just cash flowed $880 per month without even having a tenant. Now, the smart move is to split that in half. I'm going to put $440 back onto the credit card, and I'm going to put $440 in my pocket. And I haven't even got a rental yet. So I'm going to cash flow without even starting my business.
Got you. Okay.
Crazy play.
Okay.
And we can teach that with any business, Airbnb, Turo, event spaces, whatever you want to do. You can pay your mortgage for a year and do the same process.
Got you. All right. Now, let's go back to the beginning.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned commingling? What is commingling?
So basically, a lot of people, when they start businesses in the beginning, because we don't have the education of what do we do with our finances, we automatically use our 9 to 5. We automatically use our personal savings, 401k, pensions, anything that we have, and we place that into our business as startup funding, which is what we've always been traditional, groomed to do. So if you have a personal bank account and you're pulling money out of your personal bank account to put into your business or put into your business, paying your bills or trying to grow your business, if something happens or if you get sued or if your LLC get attacked and somebody pierce your corporate veil, they're coming after your personal stuff because a good attorney can see that you're cross mingling your money. You're taking your personal saving funds and you're utilizing it to grow your business. So now you don't have an LLC anymore. Now the business is actually you.
Got you. So to make sure that I understand what you're saying, you're saying that if I use Eric Armstrong's checking account for a Sandcastle transaction, if Sandcastle gets sued, they could actually come after me because I use Eric Armstrong's check to pay for a Sandcastle bill.
Correct. So what a good attorney is going to prove is that, yes, you have Sandcastles, however, but Sandcastle is being ran by Eric Armstrong and the money was coming out of Eric Armstrong's account. So now we have access to both accounts because you cross-mingled your account.
Got you. So for an investor, how would you tell us to set up our LLC to make sure that we don't, make that type of mistake?
Yeah. So first thing you want to do is definitely sign up for the Octagon Business Strategy Mastermind. Right. So we get you into that program. The next thing you want to do is when you're setting up your LLC, you want to make sure that you set it up properly. Right. So some people, when you set the LLC up, you use your home address. You never want to do that because now you're linking who you are to your business. So you always want to remember, right? You want to own nothing but control everything. Right. And when you do set it up, get a business account. Don't set up an LLC and attach it to your personal account. Get a business account and only fund money from your LLC, from your business account to the LLC to the business. Never cross mingle anything. So keep everything separate. And if you can, even have 2 different entities of banks. Like if you use, business banking A, then you want to use your personal account CD somewhere else. So it's not even in the same branch. It's not even in the same financial institution. So they can't cross you up.
Got you. So I'm gonna try to track this to make it make sense. So I would, if I started Sandcastle Investment Group, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have that checking account for there. Then I got Eric Armstrong's checking account. But if I have an expense, but I have no money in my business account, I need to withdraw it from Eric, deposit it into Sandcastle Investment Group, and then use the Sandcastle
Correct.
Account to be able to purchase to avoid commingling.
Correct. And another thing too is that, so this is the reason why it's so important to understand how to talk to the bank, because when you're starting your business and you talk to the bank, you may get a business credit card for $5,000. You may get a business credit card for $3,000, whatever the dollar amount is. Utilize that card to fund your business. Stop using your debit cards, right? Because the debit card is not doing anything except for making you vulnerable to the public, right? So, and we teach this to our mentees is that when you're doing your business, if you have a debit card and you slip up, right? So you might be driving to go see a client, but you want to get gas. So you use your debit card, right, to do this, but then you're writing it off on your taxes that this was a business, transaction of me driving to go see this client. Well, you just cross-mingled yourself without even knowing it, right? So you don't just put the debit card up because most business accounts won't give you a debit card. They're going to give you a business card.
Got you. Real quick, you emphasizing the credit cards.
Yes.
Like, do you guide us in what are the best credit cards for us?
Absolutely. So one thing that we do is, again, so when we teach you how to set up your LLC, the next we talk to you about the credit restoration. So we're going to show you how to review your credit profile, right? So basically, if you have a 680 credit score, you got 2 solid trade lines that's on your credit profile for more than 6 months to a year, then you can pretty much go to the strongest banks to get the credit funding. I always recommend to shoot with the smaller guys first, right? Big banks don't really need your business, right? So when we teach you how to talk to that bank, they don't really need your business because they're getting business. You want to go to the smaller bank because they're competing with the bigger banks. So you're going to get the most funding from a smaller bank. Get the small guys out the way first and then go talk to the big banks.
Got you. Okay. Now, what if my credit score is boo-boo? And I
Yeah.
got a 550.
Yeah.
You know, is my program for you? I mean, is your program for me? I apologize.
Absolutely. Because see, here's the thing, right? So even though we call it the Octagon Business Strategy, we teach you about 10 to 12 different cash flow businesses. It's just on the average, you're going to choose maybe 8 out of the 12, right? So the program is definitely for you because it's not just about your credit. I'm teaching you how to cash flow with no money out of your pocket. So all the other opportunities that you get from the Octagon, you can make money to put that to building your credit profile. You can make that money to get your credit score back to where it needs to be. We're going to teach you how to monitor it, right? We're going to teach you the techniques to get your credit score to the next level. So our program is for people who are experienced entrepreneurs, and it's for people who are least experienced entrepreneurs. But the bottom line is we help you get to the next level, no matter what that level is. So to get in our program, you have to fill out a questionnaire. So you opt in, right? We're going to figure out what your goal is, what's your why, what are your pain points that we can help you resolve to get to the next level. It might not be your credit score right now. For you, it might be, listen, I want to leave my job, but I need to put some funding in the bank, or I need to come up with another source of income that can match my job or surpass my job's income. So that's when we give you different plays that you can do to do that. Once you get that play and the money's coming in, you can allocate that money to fix your credit.
Got you. Somebody listening to this, I would feel they hear us talking about money. What's a realistic number or goal for somebody entering your program to get in return if they put in and follow the steps that you ask them to take?
So our program has 3 tiers, right? So the first tier is somebody who credit score is in the basement, right? Boo-boo, right? It's in the basement. So what we tell people is that your potential with a low credit score is going to be lower than the potential of somebody who credit scores in the penthouse. So we don't guarantee any type of funding that you're going to get. No, but if anybody's telling you a guarantee of a number, I would be very leery about that. But what I can tell you is that I can't guarantee for you to get business credit, but I can guarantee you to get cash flow. And if you do the work and you implement all the tools that we're giving you for your toolbox, you can range anywhere from an extra $1,000 to $10,000 or more a month. It has nothing to do with your credit. Okay. Right? Now, if your credit is, halfway there for the second tier, now we're going to give you the same first tier of $1,000 to $10,000. And now, in additional to that, we're going to take you to the bank and get you some funding. So now with the banks, it may not be a direct line of credit. It may not be a loan, but if it's a credit card for $25,000 or $50,000, now I'm putting your salary that you are making a year on a card. And then we have different techniques that we can teach you how to move that. So then you can feel more comfortable and secure instead of holding on to the security blanket. Then if your credit score is in the penthouse, right, the 700 club or more, we can guarantee anywhere from $50,000 to $250,000.
Got you. Do you got to kind of have some type of, working history or anything,
As far as getting the credit? Mm-hmm. So no. So some people do want you to create a business profile with your EIN and your DUNS number. We do recommend that you get your EIN number. We do recommend you get your DUNS, but we don't focus on that.
Real quick.
Sir.
What is an EIN?
All right. So everybody that's listening to this podcast and everybody that's probably walking this earth, right? We're born with 2 things. We're born with a lot of things, but 2 of the special things that we're born with is a date of birth and a social security number. With those 2 things, they can never change, right? Unless somebody knows somebody that can get it done. If they give me a call later so we can figure that out, but they don't never change. So what does change is your EIN number. Right. So your EIN number is your identity of your business. The date of birth and social is your identity. Your EIN is the identity of your business. So the date of birth is the day that you start the business. The social security number for your business is your EIN number.
Understood.
Now, the beauty of that is you can give birth to a business every 24 hours.
So you telling me I can start cash flow every 24 hours?
Every 24 hours.
Oh, okay. We getting back to that, how to print money on demand.
Print money on demand every 24 hours.
Okay.
Yes,
We're going to go back to that. Hey, Jackson, put that in the cliffhanger. We have to understand how we can make money every 24 hours. We got to go back to that.
How to print money on demand.
All right. Now, so what is a DUNS number?
So a DUNS number is called Dun & Bradstreet, right? So this is a private company that tracks small businesses or even large businesses to help you scale your business with a business rating score. Now, the problem with that is that, so a lot of people use that number to get business credit and eventually transfer you over to corporate credit. But a lot of banks don't report the Dun & Bradstreet. So sometimes when you go for funding, Dun & Bradstreet number doesn't even apply to the funding that you're getting. So we don't tap too much into that, only because our system has been proven and is bulletproof that we can get you no documentation loans. So if the bank is willing to give you a no documentation loan for $49,999, why would I continue to spend time trying to build Dun & Bradstreet, right? The most important thing that we have in this world is time. We don't have time to waste for anybody, right? We got more time behind us than we have in front of us. So while you're building up your Dun & Bradstreet, I'm diddy bopping to the bank, getting some more money with no documentations, and I'm cash flowing.
The man said diddy bopping.
Yeah.
Hey, though, check this out. I heard you say that you could get me a loan, a no doc loan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so again, you can give me a no doc loan. What is a no doc loan?
All right. So for everybody that's out there, and it's basically what it is, right? It's a no documentation. It's basically you're utilizing your LLC, your personal social security number, because they're going to run your credit, right? So your personal credit profile to get funding. They're not asking for a W-2. They're not asking for a paycheck. They're not asking for a pay stub. They're not asking for anything to prove what your company did except for your LLC. Now, if your LLC is seasoned, that means, your LLC has been around for more than a year. They might not ask you for stated income. If your LLC is before the season is less than a year, they're going to ask for stated income. And what that is just estimated income on what you think you're going to make for the year. So if you feel like your company is going to be a $250,000 a year company, then that's what it's going to be. If you feel like your company is going to be a $1 billion a year company, that's what it's going to be. But it's because it's stated income, right? That's that no documentation. And we have systems and financial institutions in place to get you no documentation loans for real estate and no documentation loans for funding. But the funding is only up to $50,000.
Got you. So I would have a fear there.
Why is that?
Everybody ain't ethical and real with themselves.
Facts.
So I would hate for somebody to misuse that.
Facts.
What type of recommendation? Who's this loan for?
So these loans are for people who, one, understand their why, right? They understand that what I had when I get this funding, that I'm going to utilize this funding for my business, because the funding is coming into your LLC name. The funding is not in your personal name. So if you're not ready or have a plan of action for the funding, you might want to just wait till you build the plan first, because this is not something that you can just do, because in another 2 to 3 years, you'll be coming back to me saying that my credit is messed up now because I got this funding and I did the wrong thing. So if you have a business and you're serious about your business and you know that you want to get to the next level to scale your business, then this program is for you. This is the reason why we have our opt-in program, and we talk to you, right? Everybody doesn't get into our program. Everybody doesn't get this funding, because once we give you an interview, if you can't articulate what you want to do with the funding, then we would respectfully decline your application.
Got you. Understood. So back to the Octagon. Mm-hmm. On a wholesale program, tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So what we do is, so a lot of times people want to get into real estate, but their credit score isn't quite in the penthouse for them to get started to get funding. So we give them another option, which is being the middleman of having the seller and the end buyer, which is the wholesaler. That's what the wholesaler is in that middle. So we teach you how to set that play up. We teach you how to, talk to the seller. We teach you how to find the seller. We teach you how to research looking for the seller. And then we teach you how to find the buyer and make sure that the buyer and the seller gel together well, and give you the right protection of paperwork to make sure that you're not getting, shafted at the end.
Got you. What if somebody is interested in everything you have to offer, but they're not really interested in dealing with wholesale? They don't have interest in that part of real estate. Mm-hmm. How do you make it still fit for them?
So that's what I was telling you about the Octagon business strategy. We call it the Octagon because the Octagon has 8 points that stay on. 8 points that stay on point, right? But we teach you 12 different strategies, maybe even 15 at this point with our program. You don't have to pick up everything. We just give you an abundance of cash flows, and you pick the niche that works for you. Mm-hmm. So if wholesale is not yours, guess what? We move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. It may be apparel, right? So I see you you rocking that nice apparel, right?
There it is.
Right. I see you rocking that nice apparel. So that's one of the businesses that we teach you as well, right? We teach you how to start and brand yourself with your own apparel company. And wholesaling might not be for you, but millionaire mentality might be for you. So then we teach you how to start a t-shirt line. We teach you how to, if you want to start an ebook. So one thing we tell our students is that during this process, you're going to document everything that you learn and what you do. So at the end of our course, you're going to put everything down on documentation. You can have an ebook, you can have a course, you can have an audio book. It's your process.
Got you. Again, so you feeding us to then, feed our people.
I'm feeding everybody, absolutely.
There it is. Okay. Now, when we first went through it in the steps, obviously you had, the property management play.
Yep.
To where basically you're lead, helping people find tenants for their properties.
Yep.
Like elaborate on that play a little bit.
Yeah. So a lot of times, again, it always goes back to if you're not ready to go to the bank to get funding, we have to teach you how to create cash flow. So one play that we do is called tenant placement. So you're actually starting an LLC for real estate consulting is what you're going to do. Right. And what this is doing is, everybody somewhere, everywhere needs somewhere to stay. So when you can identify who those people are and you know that they have a need, you're going to find a private landlord who has the service. So it's kind of just service and demand. So now we have a tenant who's ready to go. We vet that tenant out. We make sure the tenant is qualified. We know what they're looking for. We know what they can afford. We do a background search. We do the credit search. They go through our whole entire application process. Then we find a private landlord, right? Now, this landlord may have had their property up for maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So now they haven't had any luck but finding a tenant. So now we introduce ourselves as the property consultant and say, hey, listen, I understand that you had this property on the market for quite some time now. How would you feel about us placing a tenant inside of your property? And at this point, it doesn't cost you anything. Who pays is the tenant once we get the tenant into the property. Most landlords are going to want to do that because they've already been sitting for 3 weeks. So the longer your property stays vacant, the less money that you're making. So now, as you being the property consultant, you figured out that this person has a need and you have the solution. The landlord, the property owner has a need, you have the solution. So you're marrying those people together and you're getting a profit off of it every month.
Got you. Do you think that this would be successful anywhere in the country?
Absolutely. Okay. You can do this anywhere in the world. Anywhere. And that's the purpose of a cash flow. That's the purpose of how to print money on demand because money's printed everywhere, right? They print money every 24 hours. You just got to go get it.
Got you. Man, we got to go back to our question, Jackson. Yeah. So you said you can start an LLC every 24 hours.
Every 24 hours. Well, so let me back up. You can start an LLC every hour, every minute, every second of the day, but you get an EIN number every 24 hours.
All right, boom. So I could get an EIN every 24 hours.
Yes, sir.
Which in essence, with the plays that you're giving me, I could rinse and repeat this process and continue to build more cash flows, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So can you give me an example of how I would maximize doing that?
Maximize the LLC?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So one thing we all talk about, right? Everybody chasing the bag, right? We all chasing the bag. But my theory is what I teach people is why you chasing something you're never going to catch, right? You chasing something that you're never going to catch. They print money every day. So you chasing something that you're never going to catch. So what people have to understand is that stop chasing the bag and understand that you are the bag. All you got to do is fill it up, right? So when you take that mental concept and look at your LLC. So if I create an LLC today, right? I make my LLC, I got it rolling, I got it going. My LLC, I'm going to probably wait 7 days. I'm going to go talk to the bank because I'm going to learn how to speak to the bank. I'm going to open up that bank account with the LLC. Once I build that relationship with the bank, I'm going to apply for funding. If the bank gives me $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, whatever the dollar amount is, I now know that who I came into the bank with that LLC in my profile, I can get that dollar amount. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to create either another service LLC from out of that or any other LLC. I like to stick with the services because it is equivalent to the business that you're already running, so you're not confusing yourself, right? So then I go back, I create another LLC within 24 hours. I'm going to go back to that same bank Because now, guess what? I'm the same guy, the same owner, the same CEO, but now I have a different LLC name. But I have the same profile that's behind me. So if I got 15, 20,000 off the first LLC, what do you think I'm going to get off the second LLC? Right? You're going to get almost the same dollar amount increment or higher because now I have a relationship with the bank. So if I can get 10, 15 off of one, next 7 days, I'm going to get another 10, 15. Next 7 days, I'm going to get another 10, 15. Right? And then so on and so on. And once I tap out of one bank, I take that same LLC and I'm going to go to another bank and do the same process.
Okay. Now, but you got all this credit. You know what I mean? Again, you got to be for the right person.
Yes, sir.
You can't recklessly be. If you don't have a plan, this is not for you.
So this is the reason why it's called the Octagon Business Strategy: How to Print Money on Demand. Because when you in our program, it's not about just getting the money, right? So everybody know that cash is trash, right? Cash is trash, and credit is second to trash, right? What's the real deal is cash flow. Cash flow is king. So if you are in our program, you understand that you're not here just to get the funding. If you fill out our application and say, hey, you know what? I'm just here to get the money, you're going to be rejected because you don't need us to get the money. You can figure that out somewhere else. You need us to get the cash flow. We focus on cash flow. Getting you the money is easy. What you do with the money is the challenge. So if I can't coach, train, and groom you on what to do with your money to build more money, then our program is not for you.
Okay. All right. Now I get it. And they need to hear that too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why would I go with your company versus LegalZoom?
So the thing here is, right? So with LegalZoom, you're paying LegalZoom to do a service. What are you getting out of that service? You're just getting the LLC. So LegalZoom charges anything between $500 to $800 for a service, which is great if that's the service that you want. But did you cash flow? Right? You paid for a service, you got your LLC, but do you know what to do with it now? You're sitting on an LLC. Now you're going to go back to try to figure it out. In my program, we're teaching you how to do an LLC. And after you finish getting your LLC, within the next 24 hours, you're going to be doing LLCs. So now you're going to be producing money. You're going to be producing a cash flow from a technique and talent and skill set that we taught you how to do. LegalZoom is not doing that. LegalZoom is going to take you $800, give you your LLC, and be on their way. But now you're still stuck, right? You're still stuck in the same position that you was because now you don't have the knowledge to how do you talk to the bank. They're not teaching you how to do that. LegalZoom is not going to give you the documentation that they taught you how they did your LLC to teach you how to do it, right? So if you really was crafty, when you go to LegalZoom, I would start an LLC called How to Build LLCs and have LegalZoom build it, and then I go back and then I'm going to redo LLCs for people. LegalZoom is not giving you affiliate codes, right? Are they paying you because you're sending people there? Think about it like this, right? In the state of Pennsylvania, to build an LLC, it costs $125. LegalZoom is costing you anywhere between $500 to $800. So when I teach you this skill and this craft, you're going to be able to charge $425 to anybody that wants you to build their LLC. You're cutting LegalZoom price almost in half. But that's not even the best price. The best price and the best part is that if you do 10 people a month, I just gave you $3,000.
Get your money back.
What the LegalZoom give you.
Gotcha. Okay. Hey, I'm just checking in. So when you set me up, you getting my operating agreements and all that together too, man?
Yeah. So one thing that people have to understand is that stop just going to anybody to get your LLC. Because I get a lot of mentees that come to me, hey, I got my LLC already. But when I ask for their documentation, they don't have the operational agreement. They don't even have the file or have access to go back and to redo something on their LLC. They can't even amend them. And I'm like, who did your LLC? Oh, such and such did it, last year. I said, okay, well, do you have your sign in? I don't have that. You got your operational agreement? I don't have that. So you basically paid somebody to do your LLC and you have no documentations for it. So when you come to us, we're going to walk you through the process the proper way and give you the operational agreement, right? Make sure you set up properly in your state and your city so you can operate professionally and teach you how to do it for somebody else.
Okay. So, all right, let's say a real estate investor messed up and started an LLC, like I got Say Castle Investment Group.
Right.
And I have rental properties under that.
Yep.
And then I did a business Airbnb, and I put it under Sandcastle. I put Sandcastle as the owner because I thought that they could work together.
Right.
And you say, I don't want to do that. Can you undo somebody's mess up? Can they start over? Can they, if they didn't do it properly, can they come back to you to get it fixed?
So, can you fix it? Yes.
Okay.
Do we offer that service to fix them? A lot of times we don't.
Okay.
And the reason why is because whoever did your LLC, if we can get into your account, then we can show you how to amend it.
Understood.
But a lot of times we can't get into your account because you don't even have your password. Right?
I understand.
And the reason why is because you paid somebody to do your LLC and you never got the email address that's attached to it. You never got your password that's attached to it. So when we go search for it, now we have to manually do snail mail to try to get your information.
Gotcha.
Right? So this is the reason why, get it done right the first time.
Understood, man. So your course.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the course a little bit.
Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk.
So like what can somebody expect from the course? Is it like, weekly calls? Is it just like online?
Right.
Or is it Zoom meetings? What you got for us?
So for our course right now, we have different tiers that you can, purchase because we want to make our course affordable for everybody, right? So some people, can't afford the high tier. But what we can guarantee you is that getting your foot in the door with our course, you can always level up to different tiers. So the very first thing you can do is if you would like to buy a course in a program, we have a special course that we put together where you can listen to the course and do things on your own. That's kind of like the lower tier. You do get some support emails back and forth, but a lot of times people like to be a little bit more hands-on. So then we can take you to the next tier of our course where we do have coaching calls. We'll walk you through the process. We'll walk you through the course. And then our top tier course is that you have me one-on-one,
Gotcha.
which is like I'm taking you by the hand and I'm gonna do this with you and for you.
Gotcha. They got to be a little bit exclusive.
Very exclusive.
Okay.
Exclusive.
So when you say one-on-one, is that a Zoom call in person?
So it's basically a Zoom call, but you get two coaching calls a week for an hour, and we literally go over the course line by line. Right? We build your LLC with you. So you on a Zoom with us? I'm building the LLC physically with you.
Okay.
You come off the LLC. I'm on a phone call with one of the banks with you. Right. So we're going to set that up. We're going to run you through the funding plan. You say, hey, you know what? I got all of this down packed. I'm ready to scale my business now, but I need some more funding. So we have a funding program we can attach you to. We can try to get you as much funding as you want. But now that's an additional service outside of the course because, of course, we get you $250,000. That's not the price of the course.
Understood.
Right.
Got you. Okay. And like, where can they go get the course at?
Oh, so right now you can actually pick up the course right now at cashflowcannon.com. You'll go to our tree. You pick which course is for you, and then you can sign up that way. Now, please remember, before we take any payments or we do anything, we do have a questionnaire for you to fill out. And that's because we want to make sure that you're the right fit. We want to be the right fit for you, and we want to make sure that you're the right fit for us.
No doubt. Man, hey, I need you to tell me, I need you to inform me, tell me about something I did not ask today.
Some of the ideas you asked?
That I did not ask.
Oh, you did not ask. Okay, that you did not ask. Yeah, so one thing that I definitely want to put out there with people is that a lot of times we talk about funding, right? We talk about leveraging businesses, leveraging OPM. I want people to know that is the new wave, right? The way of doing things before, the way of doing things depending on your 9 to 5 to get you to the finish line, those days are over, right? So we hold on to a security blanket of our job, but you have to ask yourself this: how much is your job paying you to forget your goals and your dreams? How much is that job paying you to stay stuck on that hamster wheel? So you have to understand and know for yourself that you got to get out of that. You have to get off of that rat race of just going to work every day, right? So I don't know anybody's situation out there, but if you ask yourself this one question, what's the difference between prison and work? Right? If you ask yourself, what's the difference between prison and work? The only difference is that if somebody go home on parole at the end of 8 hours. Everything else is all institutionalized, right? Everybody hugging the same cubicle together. Some of y'all taking the same breaks at the same time. You waking up almost the same time to go to work every day, right? You're driving in traffic almost the same time. So you're programmed to do a particular thing to service a company. And if you're in corporate America, you're servicing a company that's helping them get rich. What about your last name? Right? The company that you go to every day, 99% of the time, you're representing their last name. But what about your last name? Right? So you can't continue to work for somebody else and not investing into yourself. And I know we get afraid. I know it's scary, guys, but you can literally put your annual salary inside of your bank account with OPM. You can cut that security blanket. After the security blanket, you can take that parachute off because you can't fly when you got the parachute blocking your wings. Right? So you got to get out of that scared zone and apply yourself and get to the next level. Right? People talk about debt. You don't want to go in debt. You don't want to go in debt. In my program, and this is one of the things that Octagon Business Strategy that we didn't talk about, is that when you're getting into debt, I teach you how to get whole life insurance. So your life insurance policy covers your debt. So let's just say I have $2 million in properties. I got $2 million in debt. Well, if you got this whole life insurance, that's $4 million policy, and your policy is written out to your LLCs. If your policy is written out to your businesses, you're still setting your family up with cash flow. What do you think your family is going to do with $100,000 in the bank? Right? You got kids, you got children, you got all this money in the bank, but now you're gone. You can't teach them how to leverage. You can't teach them how to cash flow. Right? If you got a handsome son, if you got a beautiful daughter, their significant other's going to take $15,000, $20,000 out of that 100,000. The family member going to take another 30, 40 out of it. Right? They're going to want to live. Right? They're going to want to survive within 6 months to a year. Maybe even 15 months. That $100,000 is going to be gone. But what I'm teaching you is cash flow. What I'm teaching you is to take that $100,000, put it inside of a cash flow producing asset. So when you're gone, right, because everybody got to go, right? When you're gone, my son, my children are not only going to have money coming in as a cash flow, they can make as many mistakes as they want. I've made the mistakes for them in my blueprint to make sure that they get the cash flow. If I set them up to have financial money in the bank and they make a mistake, the money's gone. How many times can they make the same mistake for $100,000? With the cash flow, they can make the mistake every 30 days. So that's one of the things that people have to understand. Get with the cash flow. Cash is trash. Credit is second to trash. Cash flow is king. So I just want to let everybody understand that. Let me show you how to print money on demand.
Got you, man. Hey, boy, I feel like we got to clap it up for the sermon. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. So, man, I appreciate you giving us that insight and that deep dive into what you have to offer. I think that's beneficial to like anybody listening or anybody curious to move forward and start their own thing.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate it. But man, I got to tap in, man.
Yes,
like, you're a married man, man. Yeah. What's home life like?
Oh, man. Listen, y'all, marriage is not easy.
There it is.
You have to be willing to understand unity, right? And if your partner is not on board, you could be sleeping with the enemy. You know what I mean? And sometimes we get into relationships and we don't understand what the end game is because we think that we have to do this for a particular reason. But you need to understand that your partner has to be the person that's going to influence you and get you to the next level. And if they're not on board, you're on the wrong playing ground, right? Wake up every day. I say affirmation. Wake up every day. You got to ask yourself, how we leveling up?
What's your affirmation?
Oh, man. So my affirmation, guys, is I will be successful. I will achieve my goals. There is no such thing as a problem. It's only a situation. And every situation has a solution. I will find the answer. I will find the answer.
There it is.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it, man.
Yeah.
So wife, kids?
Yeah, definitely got some kids. You know what I mean? It was a struggle. I made a lot of my mistakes in the beginning of my career. But yeah, I got some beautiful kids, man. They awesome, man. That's my why.
There it is. There it is. And where you from?
Philadelphia, PA, man, home with the Philly cheesesteaks.
There it is.
Bring everybody through, man. You know what I mean? When the baby comes, we gonna grind that cheesesteak up for you.
That's too funny. Oh, man. What you do for like hobbies and stuff like that, man? What you do for you, outside of like just building. What do you do for you, man?
Yeah, so for me, man, I just think of creative ways to how to print money and cash flow to make sure I can help the people, right? On holidays, I don't celebrate the holidays like everybody else traditionally.
Okay.
I go out and I feed the homeless. I try to put my services in need because God blessed me with a gift, right? So my hobby is helping people.
There
Right,
it is.
right. It's a hobby, so that's what I enjoy to do. I mean, if, I try to do as much as I can to service the people. How can I serve you?
Got you,
You know what I mean?
got you, man. I think that people need to understand a little bit about our background and how
Yeah.
we met. You know, man, we
Oh
met in
man.
a mastermind.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I was locked in those 2 days. We didn't really talk too much. We was next to each other.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just,
yeah,
I
yeah,
was focused,
yeah.
trying to get it in, and then we let her connect it, man. What has masterminds and or partnerships done for you as a businessman?
So a lot of times it's not about the person on the stage. It's about the people that's in the room, right? I have learned more from the individuals who think like me, walk like me, talk like me, grind like me, side by side, right next to me, because our hunger is the same, right? So the relationships that I've built over the years in masterminds and different individuals, whether speaking with them, meeting them in masterminds, has been tremendously a catapult to my career. They've taught me more than the person who may have been hosting something, right? Because everybody comes with a different talent, right? It's not always about, again, it's not about the person on the stage. Sometimes it's about the people in the room that brings the most gifts, right? And they're willing to serve. You know what I mean? So it's like, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the mastermind. So stuff like that, of different things that I'm acquiring and way my business is pushing forward wouldn't be going in the direction if it wasn't for the mastermind or different other types of masterminds. So people see you, they watch what you do, they reach out, right? And when they reach out to you, you have to service them the same way they're trying to service you. And that's how
Gotcha.
you grow.
Why did you join a mastermind?
So for me, I've always been a serial entrepreneur. Had some struggles in my life, and when I had to understand that dealing with a life taking situation, and God pulled me through, I knew that I had to connect with people who can get me to the next level. So sometimes when you think that you're the smartest person in the room, it's time to move your room. You know what I mean? So, and where I was the smartest person in my circle, right? So now I dropped my circle and I picked up an octagon because a circle, doesn't have a beginning, doesn't have an end. But if you're the smartest person running in that arena, you're not in a circle, you're in a cage.
There it is. There it
You know what I mean?
is. Man, thank you for your time, man. Thank you
Yeah,
for
yeah,
coming through
yeah.
and
Absolutely.
blessing
Thank
us.
you.
You know
Thank
what I'm
you.
saying?
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
No doubt, no doubt. We also want to thank you for staying tapped into another episode of Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur. I'm so sorry. First generation wealth builders. Again, first generation wealth builders. So I do need you to tap in to the next episode, the episodes before. Tell a friend to tell a friend that, man, it's going down. And this is where you can learn how to print money on demand. You hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah. Absolutely, man.
So stay tuned, man, to the next episode. Until the next time. Thank you.